Right now at 6, local businesses partner up for the 7th annual Webb City Merry Market.
We got some showers and some heavier rainfall rolling through now. More thunderstorms on the way as we go through the mid-morning. A look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, Cecil Floyd Elementary in Joplin hosts its 33rd annual craft show. We'll take you there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, November the 18th, and we have got a lot of weather to talk about. Yes. Now, we don't have an alert day. We're not talking about any kind of severe weather outbreak, because some of you may be waking up, maybe checking on your friends in Oklahoma, hearing what's going on down there. That's not going to be the case for us, but we could still see some strong storms today from that same line. So we're going to just kind of dive right into it here. Got a lot to cover. First, a look outside our camera downtown Pittsburgh. It's still got some raindrops on it, and that is because it is still raining in Pittsburgh right now. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Most of the rain in Joplin is starting to ease up, at least for now, but still wet roadways out there for sure. And here's the Skywatch storm tracker. So again, in our area, we're just dealing with a batch of moderate rainfall that's on the way out ahead of a line of thunderstorms off to our south and west that will eventually start to roll into our area. So here's a look at some of that rain. Again, we're back Eureka, Howard, Sedan. You're clear for right now. Yates Center, Chanute, Pittsburgh. We've got this line almost running southeasterly into Missouri, where the moderate rainfall is along that and points northeast. So Fort Scott, Nevada, Mound City, Butler still dealing with it. Carthage, Jasper, Lamar, showers. Heavier showers at times out there, Carl Junction as well, Oronogo. And then lighter rain out around Greenfield, Mount Vernon, Monette. But Stockton, I'd say Greenfield and maybe even Mount Vernon could get in on some of this more moderate rainfall. Back into northeastern Oklahoma, into our immediate area, we're drying out for the time being. We do have some showers down here just around Ramona, north of Skiatook, and eventually rolling in south of Newada, but nothing crazy. Now this is where the more intense situation is. This purple outline here, this is a tornado watch that runs through 10 a.m., goes as far east as Oklahoma City. That is a tornado warning, unfortunately, and they've had 3 confirmed tornadoes from this line back across southwestern Oklahoma earlier this morning. Severe thunderstorm warnings also. So here's the thing. In our area, the atmosphere not expected to be able to support significant severe weather. This line should begin to kind of die out as it lifts off to the north and east, or not die out, let me rephrase that. It should begin to weaken a bit as it rolls closer to our area, but a strong storm or two is possible. And unfortunately with that, we'll have enough shear, enough lift that all hazards are possible, but the good news at least is those hazards at this time are in the low category. But we're going to continue to monitor it. We also have dense fog across parts of southeast Kansas now and into the northern parts of southwest Missouri. So again, low beams, not your high beams. And a quick reminder, wind advisories through 6 o'clock as south winds will be gusting upwards of about 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. Shower storms continue. I think our window for stronger storms, any that we see, is going to be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And as we move later into this evening, those will begin to clear out. Temperatures, we're about 30 degrees above normal across the board, in some cases close to 40 degrees above normal, low, mid, and upper 60s as winds continue to heat up, or speed up rather. Temperatures today, upper 60s, maybe some low 70s, thunderstorms through the afternoon, clearing by the evening, and of course very windy. We're going to go over all these thunderstorms and everything else in more detail here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, one person is in a hospital with serious injuries following a crash in Joplin. KOAM Shannon Becker has more details.
Late Friday, Saginaw Hill at the entrance to Wildwood, a serious crash. 2 vehicles. One person was pinned in the wreckage for about 20 minutes. Redding's Mill Fire Department assisted by Joplin Fire. Missouri State Highway Patrol Sergeant Sanders on the scene tells us the vehicle was traveling north on Gateway Drive, crossed the center line, and struck a minivan that was traveling south. The person in the minivan was not injured. Serious injuries to the other driver, who went off the road, overturned into the trees down a steep embankment. Gateway Drive traffic was either detoured or delayed for about 90 minutes. On Saginaw Hill, south of Joplin, I'm Shannon Becker. KOAM News Now, Joplin News First.
Since the crash, there have been no updates released on the driver's condition. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, 11 downtown Webb City businesses partnered up for the 7th annual Webb City Merry Market. Each shop that participated had its own sales and specials for people's holiday shopping. Some locations even had pop-up vendors. Every time a guest bought something at one of the businesses, they would be entered to win a gift basket with a value of $800.
Just come and see what everybody has to offer, and it's a great time. And we'll do one in the spring and the fall. So in the spring we'll do one March or April, somewhere in there, and same kind of concept.
And if you got a VIP pass, you could get a swag bag at each business. Cecil Floyd Elementary School in Joplin held their 33rd annual craft show Saturday. Vendors sold their crafts to help fundraise for the school's Parent-Teacher Association. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more details.
I think it's a very significant, has a very significant impact on the community.
Every year, an opportunity is open to local craft makers looking to sell their handmade items. For the past 3 decades, that opportunity has been the Cecil Floyd Craft Show.
We do handmade crafts only. We don't do direct sales or anything like that. The proceeds that we raise here go directly back into our school for the teachers and the students for added resources. We send teachers out for conferences, get electronics for the kiddos, or upgrade playground equipment. So it all stays here within our school.
Kathy Dawson has been setting up her booth at the craft show for around 17 years. Every year, Dawson enjoys visiting with new and returning customers and sharing her craft.
It's very rewarding. I have people come back year after year to see what's new. People enjoy seeing bright, colorful things that they can take home for not a lot of investment.
Months of planning go into the craft show, and vendors are encouraged to attend to help grow their own businesses while benefiting the elementary school.
It's a year-round thing. So we're already handing out applications for next year's event, and it's just tomorrow we'll start fresh, starting from the very beginning again, collecting vendor applications, getting things squared away for next year's event. It's just doesn't ever stop.
In Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Admission for the craft show was $3. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The United States Postal Service plans new shipping prices for 2025 after 2024 losses. Plus, President-elect Donald Trump is gearing up to name more key cabinet selections this week. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. Are you getting less spam calls? Well, the amount of telemarketing calls people are receiving has dropped for 3 straight years, according to the FTC. The agency has released its annual Do Not Call Registry data book, which shows unwanted calls are down more than 50% since 2021. To decrease the telemarketing calls, the FTC has made multiple changes. Last year, the agency announced Operation Stop Scam Calls. This year, the FTC banned impersonation of government or business, and the agency expanded the telemarketing sales rule to protect businesses facing illegal telemarketing. The FTC has also clarified that the rule covers AI-enabled scam calls, which is a growing threat. Well, the United States Postal Service has filed a notice for shipping service price changes to take effect next year. The adjustments would raise prices 3.2% for priority mail service and nearly 4% for USPS Ground Advantage. Now, the change would take effect on January 19th, and the governors of the USPS believe the new rates will keep the Postal Service competitive, and it will also provide the agency with revenue. Now, the announcement comes after the USPS reported its 2024 fiscal year financial results. The government agency said its net loss this year was $9.5 billion. President-elect Donald Trump is gearing up to name more key cabinet selections this week, even as members of Congress are questioning whether some of his previous picks can get past the Senate confirmation process. Naomi Ruckham has the latest from New York.
President-elect Donald Trump attended a UFC event in New York over the weekend as another fight brews on Capitol Hill over some of his controversial cabinet picks.
There's deep concern, but also a deep opportunity to sort of make sure we are putting only qualified people in these jobs.
CBS News has learned Trump's defense secretary pick, former Fox News host Pete Hegseth, paid a settlement to a woman who had accused him of sexual assault back in 2017. First reported by the Washington Post, Hegseth's attorney told us he paid the woman to ward off a baseless lawsuit that would have likely gotten him fired from Fox, and that she initiated a consensual encounter. Hegseth denies the allegations, and no charges were filed. Meanwhile, some senators say they want to see a House Ethics Committee report on Trump's Attorney General pick, former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz.
I believe the Senate should have access to that.
Gaetz resigned from Congress last week, just days before the committee was set to vote on whether to release the report, probing allegations of sexual misconduct and drug use, all of which Gaetz denies. House Speaker Mike Johnson says releasing the report would open a Pandora's box.
It should not come out. And why? Because Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress. He is no longer a member.
Over the weekend, Trump announced Brendan Carr, the current top Republican in the Federal Communications Commission, as his pick to lead the agency, and fracking company CEO Chris Wright for Energy Secretary. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
In media interviews, Trump advisor Corey Lewandowski said the president-elect could name his selections to key economic posts this week. Mr. Trump has yet to name his choices to head the Departments of Treasury, Labor, Commerce, and Education, among others. Meanwhile, former Secretary Ben Carson posted on social media that he will not be serving as Trump's Surgeon General, pushing back on some media reports. Now to look at some of today's top national stories, here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got some moderate showers across the area right now. More thunderstorms on the way back behind it. We'll tell you what they'll do when they get here in just a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:20. We're taking a quick look. A reminder, we have wind advisories across the entire region except Benton County through 6 this evening. We'll have south winds sustained 15 to 25, gusts 45, maybe 50 miles an hour at times. And that's outside of any thunderstorms that we're going to see a little later this morning, so do keep that one in mind. Skywatch Storm Tracker, let's take our tour of what we've got down in our southern counties, including now Joplin. In fact, on our camera at 7th and Rangeline, we can actually see some of that moonlight starting to peek through some of the clouds out there. It's drying out in the southern portions of southwest Missouri as all of this continues to lift northeast. Got some heavier rain right around Nevada at the junction of 49 and 54. Getting ready to exit Lamar. Moderate showers eventually will make their way into Stockton, and they're rolling into Osceola as we speak, stretching back up toward Butler on I-49. Back into northeastern Oklahoma, we've got this little band of showers that's kind of popped up. Nothing significant about it, but it's almost paralleling 60 on the north side from Bartlesville, Newada, and Veneta. And it's kind of interesting. Look, I mean, the rain showers themselves almost literally curve right along US 60 down there. Heading into the southern portion of Kansas, Pittsburgh, still some showers. Girard, Parsons, some moderate rainfall. Exiting the Independence area, Oswego, Columbus, Coffeyville, you are dry. Fredonia, Chanute, Erie, you are not. Same with Iola. Heavier rain toward Fort Scott, Mound City, and Garnett. And Yates Center, you're going to be drying out here before too much longer. Eureka, Howard, Sedan, also staying dry. So here's what we are keeping an eye on, is this line of thunderstorms. There's a tornado watch with the rain. It's now kind of getting obscured, but it goes about to this zone here through 10 a.m. Of course, getting an update on a tornado warning, the leading edge of this. They've had 3 confirmed tornadoes back in southwestern Oklahoma earlier this morning. This line is expected to be in a somewhat weakening state by the time it reaches here. And our environment is not going to be supportive of significant severe weather, but we do have a low-end severe threat. And we just kind of got to watch this line and see exactly how it all pans out. Now, so parts of this line, so in this zone, this severe thunderstorm box here, this zone is moving northeast at about 45 miles an hour. And just a quick check, just want to show you this. There's 2 additional warning boxes, the one here and here. That portion of the line is moving northeast at about 70 to 80 miles an hour. On top of that, we have new development that's flaring up out ahead of all of this. So it's a lot to watch over the next several hours. And on Max 2, we've got a storm track, at least what the latest information is showing us in terms of when these storms are going to be getting here. And it's slowed down a little bit. Again, I've been updating it every about 15 minutes and getting information on here. But on Max 2, we've got that storm track, and we're looking at it arriving in Joplin around 11:17. So we want to back this up. We're talking maybe into the Chanute area around 10 a.m. So I still think our best window is going to be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. For any stronger storms out there. Flood watches, Washington, Newcastle counties. And here's a look at our severe risk as it stands right now. We have a low tornado risk across the entire area. So an isolated tornado or two will be possible. We're going to have enough shear, enough spin in the atmosphere. We could get one or two small tornadoes, or, thankfully, that's all we're looking at this point. Hail risk mainly into Kansas and Oklahoma, but into parts of Missouri as well. And then we have that wind risk. We're talking hail to quarter size and winds, thunderstorm wind gusts of 60, 65 miles an hour. But remember, it's going to be breezy outside of that. So a lot to keep an eye on. Again, I think somewhere in our area, maybe even getting into, say, Bartlesville. We're talking Washington, Newcastle counties, maybe as early as 9:30. So we're going to keep a close eye on all of it. We'll be right here tracking. Otherwise, upper 60s, maybe some low 70s, thunderstorms. Upper 40s tonight, cooler tomorrow, low 60s, still technically above normal, but then that Arctic air arrives. Now, right now, though, some changes. We're looking to remain dry once it arrives. So we're talking lower 50s, lows into the 30s, and we'll start warming up closer to normal as we head into the next work week. But again, we'll continue to monitor these storms as they get closer to our area and bring in any watches or warnings as they come along. For now, though, we're going to toss it over to Elise, and she's got Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, expecting moms who take anti-seizure medications could raise the risk of neurodevelopmental issues in their children. A study by Drexel University found a link between anti-seizure medications taken during pregnancy and neurodevelopmental problems. However, they say the risk is still very low. The study's authors say it's important to discuss medications taken while pregnant with your doctor. Sitting for too long is bad for your heart. A study by the American College of Cardiology looked at the dangers of sitting for 10.5 hours a day. They found it was linked to heart failure and death, even for people who exercise regularly. Now, the good news, they say taking a break from sitting for 30 minutes and exercising lowers your risk. Well, spending some time in nature can help children with behavioral and mental health issues. A study by McGill University found 10 to 12 years olds with significant mental health problems benefited from spending 2 hours a week of class time in nature. Teachers reported a reduction in anxiety, depression, and aggression. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Pitt State hosts a beekeeping clinic to teach the community how to maintain a beehive.
And we've got one batch of rain rolling out, additional thunderstorms on their way as we go through the morning. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, international students at Missouri Southern get the chance to experience an American tradition.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday. It is November the 18th, getting a little closer to Thanksgiving, just over a week away now.
Very exciting.
Holidays right around the corner, but with today's weather, at least what we're expecting, it doesn't seem like November. And you step outside right now, it certainly doesn't. In fact, right now, our temperatures now are about 5 to 10 degrees above what our average high should be for this time of year. And so compared to our current, what our average low should be, some locations approaching 40 degrees warmer than where we should be this time.
40 degrees, that's pretty significant.
It is considerably warmer out there than where we should be. It certainly feels like it. And got a lot of weather to talk about. We're going to start first, though, with our look outside from downtown Pittsburgh. Rain in the process of diminishing across our region, but more showers and storms are going to be making their way in. So you can see we're starting to dry out a bit. It is still going to be very breezy. MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line showing the wet roadways, but again, rain drying out. Still a few showers around the Pittsburgh area. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and here's a look at what we've got into southeast Kansas. So Pittsburgh, still some light showers, maybe dry in the city itself, but a few sprinkles possible. Lamar, you're getting ready to exit out. Nevada, Fort Scott, Mound City, Butler, Garnett, Osceola still dealing with rain. It stretches back toward Fredonia, Parsons, Chanute. Yates Center drying out. However, as we travel down into northeastern Oklahoma, we've got these showers here, now north of 60, continuing to lift north-northeast. So Coffeyville, you got a little more rain on the way for you. And then we've got these thunderstorms out to the west of Elk and Chautauqua counties that'll eventually roll up here. And we have this line of storms. Now, some good news is some new information just coming in saying that the line does appear to be showing signs of weakening. That's what we were talking about. It's expected to be weakening as it gets closer to us, as our atmosphere appears not really set up for significant severe weather. Now, we could still see a strong storm or two, but we're not expecting any kind of major severe weather like they've been getting across parts of Oklahoma through the morning hours. But of course, we'll continue to track these as they get closer. We're still looking at the window, say between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. as the best window for some of those stronger storms. Fog getting a little better, still dense up around Iola, just under a mile of visibility. Future track showing those showers and storms still continuing by noon, and by about 4 to 6, they are on their way out of here. But we're going to be very windy as well. Quick look at those severe hazards. Low tornado threat, so an isolated tornado or two is possible. A low hail risk, up to quarter size, and winds, thunderstorm winds, could gust 60 to 65 miles an hour. And as I mentioned, our temperatures this morning, low, mid, upper 60s. So we're above where our average high should be for this time of year. We should be in the upper 50s. So the rest of today, though, again, going into the upper 60s, maybe some low 70s, scattered storms out there. And those south winds, we have wind advisories out there gusting 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. And that's outside of any thunderstorm winds we may get as well. We're going to have another deep look at these thunderstorms, what we're expecting through the morning here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Yates Hall at PSU held a beekeeping clinic. Attendees could learn how to maintain a beehive, bee biology, and bee behavior. The entrance price was $25, and people could earn door prizes, which could include a book on beekeeping, a smoker, and more. Now, the big prize of the day was a spring nuke, in which one lucky person could earn a starter colony in the spring.
Honey is harvested in the fall when you see how much the hive has produced, and you take the extra reserves. Some years you don't take very much, some years you take more. You need to leave enough honey in the hive for the bees to live on it over winter.
There are more than 4,000 different species of bees in North America. Vision Carthage is making its 4th annual Christmas Light Tunnel. The tunnel consists of 20,000 white Christmas lights and 3,000 zip ties. The tunnel can also serve as a bandstand with local bands performing inside. Around 15 volunteers help make the tunnel possible.
You know, I think it's nice the community to come together to put this up, but all through the holiday season, you'll see people up here taking their pictures, family pictures, couples taking pictures, and so it's kind of neat just to see them have their moments together.
If you want to go see the tunnel yourself, it's located by Carthage Eye Care at 130 East 4th Street. Missouri Southern State University hosted a Thanksgiving celebration for international students. Now, the purpose of the celebration is to be welcoming to foreign students and to introduce them to American traditions. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more details.
Yeah, I think this will be the precious memory, and because it is daily tradition of America, so I would like to experience.
Thanksgiving is an American-rooted holiday, but students from all over the globe, from Nepal to Ukraine, had a chance to enjoy a Thanksgiving meal.
This is the annual International Student Thanksgiving event here at Missouri Southern. Every year we welcome our international students to enjoy a traditional American Thanksgiving meal and then learn a bit about the holiday itself. And it's just a great chance to connect with our international students and help them make them feel welcome at Missouri Southern.
Momoe Kamata is from Japan. She's completing her final semester as an international student and will return to Japan in December. It's Kamata's first Thanksgiving, and she explained her perspective on the holiday.
I guess the history of Thanksgiving is really long, and people in America are thinking it's important, so this is one of the traditions of America.
Although the food is plenty and the history is extensive, the main goal is to connect with foreign students, and make them feel more welcome.
Yeah, I think for Mary and I, this is one of our favorite events each year. And just to interact with those students who've traveled many, many miles to be part of our campus here at Missouri Southern, it's a great day and it's a lot of fun.
In Joplin, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
A full Thanksgiving turkey was on display for students to pose with and take pictures of for their families back home. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. An E. coli outbreak linked to organic carrots has killed one person and sickened dozens of other people in 18 states. And we're tracking rain chances for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, a woman from South Carolina is proving no matter the physical challenges a person may have, he or she can live out their dreams. Kim Brock has cerebral palsy, but that did not stop her from modeling at a fashion show in Nashville, Tennessee over the weekend. Nikki Hauser has more.
With cerebral palsy, it might take Kim Brock a little longer to speak.
And I hope I inspire them to dream big and live boldly.
But even without her communication device, her smile says it all.
If you spend just a few minutes with me, you'll be able to understand me easier.
If you spend more time with her, you'll also know Kim is a budding fashion model, fresh off her very first show in New York Fashion Week.
They say, go big or go home, and I chose to go big.
See how she turned her chin? That's how you know Kim know.
Kim also won this year's Miss Wheelchair Southeastern USA.
There it is.
And Sunday, she'll be making history as the first woman to model in a wheelchair at the Luxe Style Fashion Week in Nashville.
That one's the one.
I felt an overwhelming mix of emotions, honored, excited, and deeply grateful. It's a powerful reminder of how far we've come in terms of inclusivity, and I'm thrilled to be part of that progress.
I'm just so proud. I'm so proud. It's exciting to get to see the journey, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Candace met Kim at New York Fashion Week. She's the one who recruited her to be in another show here in Music City.
You'll say things to me sometimes, and I'll be like, girl, I know.
With her support system, including her two daughters, who definitely take after their mother's talent, Kim wants her modeling to inspire others to embrace their uniqueness.
I want everyone, especially those who feel overlooked or underestimated, to know that their dreams are valid and achievable.
So don't let the wheelchair fool you. Kim's ready to hit many more runways, touching everyone with that smile.
California-based Grimway Farms is recalling its organic carrots due to a possible E. coli outbreak. The CDC says dozens were sickened in 18 states. One person has died and at least 15 other people have been hospitalized. The carrots were sold under multiple brand names in grocery stores across the country, including Walmart, Publix, Target, and Whole Foods. Now, people who have the recalled carrots should throw them away or return them to the store for a refund. They should also clean and sanitize any surfaces the recalled produce came into contact with. A holiday action flick Red One debuted at the top of the weekend box office with an estimated $34 million domestically. And that's far short of the film's $200 million plus budget. Venom: The Last Dance keeps hanging on at number 2 this week, bringing in over $7 million. And The Best Christmas Pageant Ever came in third with over $5 million. And the U.S. Postal Service will honor a beloved Golden Girl next year. The late actor Betty White will be featured on a forever stamp. White is best known for her characters Rose Nyland on The Golden Girls and Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. No word yet on the exact release date of the stamp. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
We're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker as We've got a few scattered showers still exiting our area this morning, and we're keeping an eye on additional thunderstorms off to our south and west. So here we've got the rain into southeastern Kansas, still stretching back towards Chanute and Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, exiting the Pittsburgh area. Heavier rain, more moderate rain, Garnett, Mound City, just north of Nevada, stretching over to Osceola on the Missouri side, Greenfield, Stockton, Lamar, you're dry. Points south are dry. And into Oklahoma, we have this little batch of showers now lifting into parts of southeast Kansas. So Coffeyville along 166, just south of Independence, Oswego. Nothing crazy there. And a few thunderstorms that are trying to make their way into parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties. We're still watching this line. Again, some good news is the latest data says it is weakening and it will enter a more stable air mass as it gets east of the I-35 corridor. And it's what we were talking about earlier. We will have the potential for a strong storm or two in our area later this morning, but the more significant severe threat is going to start to wind down. And so again, we'll have thunderstorms and maybe a strong storm or two, but we're not looking at the same significant severe weather that they've been dealing with across Oklahoma this morning. Future track by noon, showers, thunderstorms out there. And again, by about, say, between 4 and 6, they'll be on their way out, and we'll still be dealing with gusty winds late this evening as well. We'll have another look at your forecast in just a moment, as well as birthdays and anniversaries. But first, here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, David Begnaud shows us how to live happier lives. He's going to introduce us to an author who's researched the feeling and is feeling happy about the results. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for those Monday birthdays. We're going to start in Joplin with Ricky Clemens celebrating the big number 1 today. Happy birthday.
And a happy 11th birthday to Hadley Horton in Carthage.
And in Fort Scott, Kyron Kegler celebrating birthday number 14 today.
And in Neodesha, happy 15th birthday to Garrett McRoberts. It says here he's pictured with Sophie, his 14-year-old dog, and they celebrate the same birthday. So happy birthday to you both.
Wow, that dog has grown up right along with Garrett.
So
that
cute.
is really cool. Over in Monkey Island, we've got London Gentry celebrating birthday number 16. Says happy birthday from Papa Terry, Nana Margie, Mom, and Dad.
And happy 18th birthday to Bethany Merrick in Mound Valley.
Also celebrating birthday number 18 is John Shields in Chanute, with love coming from Mimi, Papa, Mom, Dad, and the rest of the family.
And another 18th birthday here. Happy birthday to Charlie Gideon in Cherokee. It says happy birthday, love Mom, Emma, and Kyler.
And we have Isabella Richards celebrating birthday number 22 today. A very happy birthday going out to Isabella.
And in Sarcoxie, a happy 26th birthday to Haley Meyer. It says happy birthday from Matthew, Lucas, and the rest of the family.
And in Joplin, Shane Knapp celebrating birthday number 33. Happy birthday, Shane.
And a happy 50th birthday to Heather Isle in Chanute.
And we've got Tracy Clugston celebrating another year wiser over in Columbus.
And in Joplin, a happy birthday to Nikki Oliver. It says happy birthday from Michael, Eamon, Garland, and Linda.
All right, a great list of birthdays out there, and all of them had pictures, and that's what we love.
Fantastic.
And if you'd like to keep this up with us, what do they need to do, Elise?
Go ahead and submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com. As Chris mentioned, we love to see those photos, so be sure to include those as along with messages and to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, and to include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got showers, we've got thunderstorms across the area. We also have the wind advisory, and that's something I want to point out. Everybody except Benton County until 6 o'clock. This is for south winds, sustained 15-25 and gusting upwards of 45 to 50. Most of the rain progressively exiting our area for the time being. We've got some heavier showers up in the north parts of southwest Missouri. Down south, we are dry. Up north again, some light showers around Nevada, Stockton, a little heavier rain exiting Osceola and getting into the Butler area. Into Oklahoma, we had that line of showers that is now lifted up into southeast Kansas. So our area of northeast Oklahoma is dry, but here's those showers stretching along 166 from Oswego over to Independence. And just north of Coffeyville, some heavier or at least some moderate rain around Erie and Chanute. Yates Center, you're drying out. Iola, Fort Scott, Mound City, Garnett still in the thick of some of this rain as well. But again, it's on the way out of here. This is the line of storms that will progressively make its way into our area. So there's a lot going on. The southern end of this line is moving northeast at last check of 70 to 80 miles an hour. The northern portion of it has slowed down. It's now moving east-northeast at about 35. So timing on getting here. I know a lot of folks want to know that. The latest updates we've got puts it into, let's say, Miami by 11:14 this morning. That'll put it up toward Joplin about 11:52, but it could change. It could speed up. It could slow down more. Some good news, though, at this line is as it's approaching the I-35 corridor, the air mass off to the east is a little more stable. So it's expected to continue a weakening trend. They still got these thunderstorm warnings that continue out there, but it is expected to undergo some weakening, and that's how it's going to be as it rolls into our area. It will still be a line of storms, a little less strong, a little less severe rather, but still could produce some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms into our neck of the woods. We also want to remind you, flood watch, Washington, Nowata counties through this afternoon, so that's something to keep in mind as well with some of the heavier rain that could come from that line of storm. So here's our severe threat as it stands. The next update on our severe weather happens at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning. So you'll want to make sure you join us on Fox 14 at 7 a.m. because if there's any changes, we'll have them by then. If it updates before that, of course, we'll bring you those changes. But we do have a low tornado risk across the entire area. So we're talking the possibility of an isolated tornado or two. We also have a low hail risk, mainly into Kansas and Oklahoma, but does stretch into parts of southwest Missouri. So we're talking maybe quarter-size hail. And then we've got a low wind risk across the area. So outside of the already gusty winds we're going to have, we could have thunderstorm wind gusts 60 to 65 miles an hour. On the future track, we'll have those showers and storms by noon. I think our window for the stronger storms is going to be between, say, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now, that could change. Again, that line is slowing down. But that's what I'm looking at right now for a window for stronger storms. And then by about 4 or 5 o'clock, it is on its way out of here. Now, we're still going to have gusty winds behind this line of storms into the late evening hours. But as we go overnight, the winds will ease up a bit. They won't be nearly as gusty for us on our Tuesday. And again, we'll hit early highs here. We're looking at noon. Low 60s, maybe some upper 50s, and then that Arctic air pushes in. See the winds shifting out of the north, and that's when temperatures really begin to drop across the area. Speaking of temperatures, cloudy in Joplin, but again, it has begun to dry out. 65 is where we're sitting. Bear in mind, our average high is 59. We're well above that already. Average low is in the upper 30s. We're upwards of 30, almost 40 degrees warmer in some cases as we're sitting low, mid, and upper 60s across the region. As we go through the morning, again, scattered storms and just kind of hovering upper 60s, maybe a couple of low 70s today. And we'll keep an eye, of course, very closely on this line of storms as it gets closer to us. We'll have a lot more on your forecast and the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to hear how Ohio officers located a missing child after he fell into a creek.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pittsburgh residents had an opportunity to learn how to be a beekeeper over the weekend. Attendees could learn how to maintain a beehive, bee biology, and bee behavior. The entrance price was $25, and people could earn door prizes, which could include a book on beekeeping, a smoker, and more. 11 downtown Webb City businesses partnered up for the 7th annual Webb City Merry Market. Each shop that participated had its sales and specials for people's holiday shopping. Now, every time a guest bought something at one of the businesses, they would be entered to win a gift basket with a value of $800. Vision Carthage is making its 4th annual Christmas Light Tunnel. The tunnel consists of 20,000 white Christmas lights and 3,000 zip ties. Now, the tunnel can also serve as a bandstand with local bands performing inside. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, we're drying out for some of us now. More showers and storms on the way through the morning into the afternoon. Could have a strong storm or two out there, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Upper 60s, maybe low 70s. On top of that, we'll also have south winds outside of the thunderstorms, gusting 45 to 50 miles an hour, so a breezy day. Gusty winds continue through the late evening, then they'll start to ease up a bit overnight. Partly cloudy and upper 40s out there. We'll start drying out, say 5, 6 o'clock at the latest. We'll have the Arctic air eventually get in late Tuesday, low 60s to start, 30s overnight. And after that, as we head into the weekend, we're falling back into the low 50s for highs heading into the weekend, closer to normal as we head into the next work week.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making 4-layer pecan pie in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, and CBS Mornings is kicking off Gladiator Week. Coming up, Nate Burleson sits down with stars of the film, Paul Mescal and Denzel Washington, to talk about the second installment of Ridley Scott's return to the iconic franchise and honoring the film's original legacy.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, local businesses partnered up with the 7th annual Web City Mary Market.
Plus, Cecil Floyd Elementary in Joplin hosted its 33rd annual craft show this weekend. We'll take you there. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. Of course, we'll continue to track these storms. Anything pops up, we will pop in, and we'll be back at noon.
And we'll see you. Yes, we will.
I'm sorry, I took
yes,
your
we
line.
will.